Hello everyone, this is John for PokerVIP.com, and in this video I'm doing a play review for Bull3tss, which is his BetVictor screen name and also his VIP forum name. He's been a long time member. He's playing 20NL, a mix of anonymous tables and regular tables over on BetVictor, which is part of the Microgaming network. If you want to sign up to this site, click the link below, or go to PokerVIP.com/deals. Definitely a good site, lots of action, lots of players, lots of traffic, all that good stuff. And he basically just wants to, see if he's got any leaks, see if we can fix anything, see if he can do more of the good things that he does, and basically just try and take his game to the next level. I've just noticed maybe his recording software wasn't working too well, or like he saved it in a lower quality because we can't really see his name or stack sizes. It's not really going to be an issue because we can, pretty much figure it out and we can see it in the bet sizing tab. Most of it's all just, the lines we take and the bet sizing, so it'll be fine. Just always assume he's got at least 100 big blinds on each table. If you want to play review doing, click the link below. There's a forum thread. It doesn't matter if you're new to the site or a long-term member. You just have to say you want a video and you get one done for free. So just free coaching, which turns out into a video like this. Okay, so we're going to crack on. Everything looks like a pretty easy fold right now. I wouldn't defend 4-5 off. That's a little bit too wide, even versus a fish. Looks like that guy is a pretty big whale there on table 4, right at the top, playing like 64% of hands. He'll be someone who will limp a lot that we can isolate, definitely get value from pre-flop, and punish post-flop. Jack 6 is a fold, Queen 7's an open, as is Ace King. Ace 5 suited here, I would probably just like pot it. Take the lead on the action. We're going to get called by a worse pre-flop. We're going to be able to win with a C-bet post-flop, and we're also going to be able to get value. Because what's going to happen a lot is we're going to just check shut down, and I think we could have maybe got a bit of value there from our Ace 5 suited, or just got some folds pre-flop, or got it heads up, Basically giving ourselves more options. When a reg 3-bets us and he's got a high 3-bet, I'd just be looking to 4-bet the Ace King here. To get it in. This guy looks like he's 3-betting 13% of the time, so that's definitely someone we should be getting Ace King in versus. Pocket 8s here, looks like we face a squeeze. I think we could probably look into calling or folding. I think 4-betting's wrong. By calling, we're going to get this fish to call behind. But I think the problem is a lot of time people might just be set mining with the 8s, which is a mistake. You're going to have a bit of confidence post-flop. Ace King here is a pretty easy call. We're going to be ahead a lot of the time. We've got the King of Hearts, 2 overs. But like I said, pre-flop, this hand could have just been made a whole lot easier for us. It's a tough one here versus someone who 3-bets a lot and could definitely be connecting with this board. I'd be tempted to check back and try and go to showdown just because I don't want to get check jammed on. However, we do make him fold all his hands that have equity versus us. His Queen Jacks, his 8-9s. His Jack 9s, his Queen 9s, and so on. We got a snap fold, so happy days. And generally, once we do float someone, we should be betting turns. But Ace King's obviously the nut no pair, and that obviously has a ton of value against everything that this guy's checking. 6s, yeah, we can call. Good flop for us, but I think it's a flop that worries a lot of people because they think, well, we could just be drawing dead versus 8s or better. But this is a pretty easy call. Good turn for us again. Doesn't improve any hands that could beat us. So far what's beaten us is 8s plus and a 7. All definitely possible, but I think we've still got to call again because, people will barrel here. Ten only improves 10x, so again, we either think he's just got a random 10 or 8s or better. I think a lot of people would slow down here, so when we face an all-in, I think we should be finding a fold. I think generally people just give up and check. Even though our hand is kind of face up to be, a middling pair, a lot of people won't fold middling pairs, so. I don't see this being a bluff too often. Yeah, good fold. King Jack suited decided to flat in position versus a short stack reg maybe, unless I'm reading his stack size wrong. Probably not great, not terrible. One of those pretty in between kind of places to be. A pretty easy fold here, and yeah, that guy was a short stack, so I might fold pre-flop to Jack King suited, or maybe 3-bet. Ace 5 suited, good under the gun +1 open. I open Ace 4, Ace 5 suited, then Ace 10 suited plus from under the gun and under the gun +1. Everything looking like a fold. A little bit of tanking here by the small blind. Looks like he was just timing out, slowing down the action. Shame we get a walk there with 10s versus a mid stacker. Jack King suited, pretty easy open. A hand I would open from all positions. I would probably go for a check call here a lot of the time. I'm going to induce a lot of bluffs. I'm going to get him to bet worse draws. I can then bet, make a delayed C bet and get a lot of folds on the turn. Because basically if we bet and we get called on the flop and we improve or we don't improve, we've kind of, got a bloated pot there. And if we, get called down a lot, we're going to be up against an ace a lot of the time. Or maybe better. So sometimes I go for a check call there, just to sort of balance my line as well. We could check call there with ace 5, ace 10, even hands like ace king or full houses. So to do it with a flush draw, just balances us out a little bit. Big hand there on table 2. Easy open. Looks like we get a flat call from a fish. I think this is the guy who made that massive overbet jam on the 8-8, 10, 10x. So hopefully we'll get some action there. Hopefully we face a squeeze. Essentially, when you got a hand like this pre-flop, you just want as much action as possible. Deuces, yeah, good open. I fold it under the gun. Open it under the gun +1. Here is just one of those really weird spots where people start to get stressed and think about, raising and folding and calling and just not knowing what to do. To be honest, just call. We're in position, we've got a hand that we think is going to be good a lot of the time, and we want to keep the pot small just in case he does have us beat, so just let him keep on doing this, and if he shows up with a queen, that's fine. We've still, made a few big blinds worth of value from him in a risk-avert way. Once he does this, he's repping like 2 pair. I don't think he's ever doing this with ace 10. However, he did do it on the 8-8, 10, 10. So I might start to believe he's bluffing here. But without seeing, anything to showdown, it's one of those just really tough calls to make. And I think folding's probably the right way to go for now. But I mean, he is kind of just repping like ace 8, queen 8, ace queen, and hands like that. Unless he had like pocket 8s or something and was pot control until he hit a set. But I find it somewhat unbelievable. 7-10, yeah, I'd open, a6 I'd fold, pocket 6s I'd call, king 10 I'd c-bet. Not too sure what we're thinking about here versus two players. Just pair of sixes is a pretty easy call. Great flop for us here. Obviously, we can rep draws. People will defend wider and play their hand stronger versus us. I just go for a check here. I think we're going to get c-bet into a lot. King 10, just keep on bombing. Build the pot as much as you can. Sixes here, I make it quite small. Well, not small. I guess I make a pretty standard sizing of like 350. King 10, I might go for a check here. Um, the only thing is by checking we do lose value from like King Queen and King Jack if he checks. But I think a lot of the time he's gonna have like Jack Queens, Ace Jacks, Ace Queens. Um, that he'll just fold. Six is easy call. Get him versus Ace 10. Crazy. King 10 we get a snap call, so it's a nice bet there. I guess he just had King Queen. Or something like that. Yep, King Queen. That's the theory of checking. It's just, once we've got a king there in our hand, we've got a 10 in our hand. It sort of limits the hands that he can have that can call us, basically. We can maybe think about betting small there because we think it might be more likely that he's got a hand like jacks or a 10 or just a really weak king. But definitely a nice play there, nice value. 6-3, I like that lead a lot. Pair, straight draw, overcard, all that good stuff. A6 there might have isolated. The guy's obviously a fishy opponent. We've got an ace from position. I think we can win it pre-flop, get value post-flop, win without hitting post-flop with a simple c-bet. Queen 9 I would probably barrel. Again, I think we just get called a lot on flops like this by fish and by reg, so I like to double barrel and triple barrel. Be surprised, yeah, he's got 8s. Maybe a hand that we couldn't have got to fold, but definitely a hand we should be trying to fold out. We're just going to get called once so often, by like gut shots, small pairs, ace highs, king highs, even just random any two cards. So definitely think about double barreling a little bit more there. It's amazing just, how effective a double barrel is in this game. Especially if we're not known for double barreling. If we've got a rep of, bet once, give up, then can definitely be a good spot for us to start doing it. And again, if you want to sign up to BetVictor, PokerVIP.com/deals, or hit the link below in the description. Please leave any comments, questions, answers, statements, whatever you want in the comment section below. Head over to the forum thread if you want a review for yourself. Like I say, it's just simply free coaching. And we give you the software to record the videos, give you full instructions on how to use that software. Dead simple, just click record and hit send basically. And yeah, it just basically gets you all involved in the site and hopefully helps you improve your game. I think I'd go for a squeeze here, yeah, with the 10s. Really like that. I think this guy's gonna be isolating the fish wide. We need to get value for our 10s and sort of be in control of the pot. The only annoying thing is he does get a lot of folds, but with 10s it's kind of like one of those hands where we don't want to just call and be out of position post flop because it's just such a tough hand to play. If there's overs, Queen 6 I'd call here. I think we've got to start looking this guy up. And it's not like looking him up to see what he's got. I just think we're going to be ahead a lot of the time. I think this guy is just out to win as many pots as possible. Looks like we folded again. We're giving this guy who bets rivers for fun a lot of credit. So maybe that's a bit of a leak there. We might need to watch him a little closer. I think it was like calling 160 to win like 380. When all the draws miss against someone who likes, probably who has a high, river betting frequency. I think it's, Pretty close to being profitable there. Or at least long run. Like I say, we're not going to see what he's got, but obviously the information we get from calling can also be used. I mean, if that guy's just, happy betting second pair there, or, even like third or fourth pair, or just shows up with complete air, then that definitely helps us in the future versus this opponent. Ace Jack against 3 opponents, not exactly the best place in the world to be on this kind of board, but I think it's a c-bet spot for sure for value. We just have to be pretty cautious because there's a lot of sets, there's a lot of 2 pairs, there's aces that beat us. Basically, if we get action, we want it to be from this fish because he's more likely to go with a draw or a worst ace. So it looks like we're going to get our wish. Ace Queen here, yeah, just going to go ahead and bet for value. Against his opponent, who's really aggressive and who likes to bet, I think I'd probably just check call down and pretty much just not fold any river. I think betting generally will get a lot worse to call, or we might face a jam. Like, I mean, we just got a snap fold there. I think maybe versus someone who constantly keeps on, betting big versus us, seems to, be battling for pots. Maybe just start check calling down with a hand that is so big and has so many blockers. Might be a nice line to take there. He's calling us again, so this is really nice for our kings. Getting big hands versus someone who calls a lot and bets a lot is perfect. 7-8 suited I definitely would have raised. I would have just made it 80 cents and just been in control of the pot or won it pre-flop. Problem is we're going to be out of position versus 2 opponents more than likely, so. Good flop for us here, kings. Lots of draws on there, so we should get some action. I would bet like 170, 180. And the 7-8 suited, like I was saying, now we're just going to have to fold. If we had raised, we could have won this pot like this guy's done. And that's kind of like the difference of, a different type of player. He's understanding what people have got. He understands that he can win. And even though it's a small pot, it's definitely one that we want to battle for. Kings here, again, I'll go into check call mode. Let this guy, bluff off. If he goes check, check, I check the river to him and hope he, bombs big again. I'd be really tempted to check this river. Against fish, we should generally be bombing, but this guy just loves to jam, loves to bet big. Standard line is bet, 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 of course, but I don't know, this guy just doesn't like folding. And wow, he actually flopped a stone cold nuts versus us, which is pretty sick. Shame the board didn't pair, we would have got the lot. A good bet, don't get me wrong, and a bet I would probably make, the majority of the time. I just really like, having a big hand versus someone like that and just kind of let them bomb off, just because we can't ever expect them to have, that big of a hand to call us with, but they're prone to what looks like to be river bluffing, so that's kind of my reasons. Pocket 90, I think it's just a pretty easy call, in position, big pair. Not necessarily set mining, just, playing it nice and easy. Pretty easy call on the 7-5-3. Great flop for us. And like a lot of people sort of think, oh my god, he might have a really big hand. What if the turn comes, whatever. Just remember, if you're that guy and you've 3-bet pre with king queen, ace king, ace jack, jack 10 suited, 8-9 suited, whatever, you're gonna see bet this flop, aren't you? So just always remember what you do if you're in his spot. I'd call this turn. Obviously, the queen just sort of, is the only one over card. I think we get to face double barrels there a lot. I think calling once and snap folding when one over card comes facing a double barrel might be a little bit too weak, but I definitely understand people's concern for doing it. Queen 8 suited, I just call. Yeah, really easy hand to play there. And on a board like this, I just check, give up. Just nothing we can do. 4-6 suited, I might have just raised again. I mean, maybe I ISO a little bit too much, but I just feel like I win so much pre-flop and so much from like a flop C bet on, just by rating board textures that it's just so profitable for me. I like the lead here. Once we get raised, we've run into 2 pair. a set or a straight, pretty much. Sometimes he's going to have, better draws than us. Well, not better draws, but, bigger draws, but without a pair, obviously, because we've got it. Once we call, we put ourselves in a really tough spot, but I understand that we have to do this. Raising might be a little bit spewy, even though we do get it in versus hands that are worse. And I really like that fold there. I really like that fold. He knows we can be drawing dead. He knows that we could have just been, our odds, just drops dramatically there, even just versus a 10. He knows that even if we hit, it might not be good. If we hit a 6, we've got a full house, but it's like the worst full house. If we hit a flush, it's only a 6 high flush. So we're kind of just in a really horrible spot there. So I like his play. Leave a comment there about what you think about 3-betting that flop to get it in. Be interesting to see what people say. We've got a pair, we've got a draw. What's the worst odds that we are versus a straight, which is, obviously the best hand for them to have versus us. That's a made hand right now. What's our odds versus Jack, Queen of Diamonds, and so on. Leave a comment there. Be interesting to see what you say and what you think and how you'd play it. If you just figure out what your odds are versus top set versus a straight and versus, big combo draws, you might think about, maybe folding, maybe raising, thinking calling's fine, hoping to get it in. Not a lot of action right now. 4 folds across 4 tables. Sometimes poker is boring. Here we go, ace queen suited, nice hand. I'd be happy to see bet this board against this guy. I think he's going to call pretty wide. We've got 2 overs, backdoor nut flush draw, running straight draw, get called by worse, like I said, be able to barrel versus hands that we could, get him to fall by the river. So yeah, just a pretty easy. This guy's led. I'd call, like I said, just all those backdoors and the fact we have overs. I think he's just too strong to fold. Turn the nut flush draw, which would be a really nice backdoor draw to hit, because it would give us the nuts as long as it's not the 7 or 10 of diamonds, of course. But even if those cards came, I'd feel like we were pretty nutted anyway. Deuces here, we can fold, we can 3-bet. Calling kind of just means we're... The sick thing is with deuces, all we're doing is trying to flop a set. But versus a min race, it's fine. Just got to, be aware that we really don't go any further with the hand unless we flop a set. Well, we rivered one, that'll do. Yeah, I like the lead. I might have, bet like 110, 115. I guess if the guy's going to call us with a pair, we'll call it for that amount. 3s here, I'd probably just fold. I guess we called. But, Queen 9x definitely hits this guy's range. Lots of bad turn cards for us, so. Ace Queen wins. Let's see what this bluffer had. Let's hope he hits hand history so we see it. Jack 9, good fold. Min raise 2.5x, whatever you prefer on the buttons, fine by me. Great flop for us, top pair, jack kicker, jack high, backdoor flush draw. Lovely jubbly. Yep, I quite like that sizing to be honest. 70 is pretty good, 60 is fine, 70, yep. Changed his mind a couple of times there and went for what he originally planned. Nice play, good c-bet, get value. Ace is under the gun, I'm sure you all know that's a raise from any position. Don't see the point of limping or doing anything different. Just play it exactly the same as you'd play 9-10 suited, and then nobody will ever know that you've got aces pre-flop, just by your opening. Get a call, really good flop for us, 6-7 queen dry. We can get called by a ton of hands here, lots of pairs, lots of draws. So just a good size c-bet is fine. 80, 90, even €1 there would be fine. 3 only improves pocket threes, 3x, 3, 6, 3, 7, queen 3, or 4, 5. All hands which are not that likely, to be honest, so I just go ahead and bet for value. Just don't think that hand basically now makes us behind, but if he calls the flop, he should be calling again there, as it doesn't, change our hand strength either. So if he's got a queen, he's just not going to be able to fold. If he's got a second pair, he might call once more as well. Ace-8, we can squeeze or fold. I probably just opt on the folding side of things. A lot of limping in these games. Haven't seen that for a while. It's a good sign because it shows that it's fish who are doing it. Because let's face it, good players don't really limp. Ace Jack here. Did we just call? Calling's fine. We're in position. We can definitely. Oh no, it looks like we raised. What did we do? Did we min raise by accident or something? Whatever we did, it was good. I like it. Once we get a lead here, I'm just never folding. He can definitely have a queen, but a lot of the time he's gonna have like ace 5. Like I've found, he's just gonna have a really, really rubbish ace and just be committing himself to the pot. I'm just calling. Obviously, raising is just pointless. Let him just keep bluffing if he's ever bluffing. Just a happy day call down, really. And once this guy bets the minimum, I'm just not having that. I'm jamming for value, obviously. Whoa! No, 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 no! We should never be flying there. If this guy's got a king, if this guy's got a flush, if this guy's just a complete idiot, we're letting him off with 20 big blinds there. He never has quads. He never has aces full. Like, we've just got to pound some value in there. Even if you just think you're 100% chopping, make him doubt himself sometimes. Make him misclick. Just do anything. Just get the money in the middle. Looks like that's the end of the video. So basically, things there is missing out on value. A couple of undergun +1 opens like a6 suited. I might look at changing. Bet sizing was good, and maybe against his aggressive opponents, look at check calling lines. When we have just a really big hand on a board, that's good for us. Just if this guy keeps on overbetting the pot by 50x on rivers, and we're sat there with top pair, top kicker, or a set or something, and maybe we should let him go ahead and do that. But a great player. I've known him on the forum for a while. I've known he's a good player for a long time. Just really good, solid poker, and nothing majorly negative to say. So this is John for PokerVIP.com.